In this week's Two Wheels Better, we take a look at Honda's SLR 650, and Wayne has got yet more agony. But first, it's down to the racetrack. Isn't that pretty there? Very nice, isn't it? It's not actually a tropical island in a sunny place, it's actually Mallory Park in Leicestershire, a racetrack in case you didn't recognise it. Now, many of you will have been here on a number of occasions and indeed visited the various racetracks throughout the country, but you generally only come here for a couple of reasons. One, it's a race meeting that you want to go and see who's going to win, and B, it's possibly a track day and you've booked in and you fancy a blast around the circuit. But a place like this is active many days throughout the year for various activities, and there's an awful lot involved in the upkeep and the running of a race circuit, as we're about to find out. Follow me. David, tell me, how did you become a director of Mallory Park?
Well, I suppose it's a bit of a dream come true for anybody who's interested in motorsport. Many years ago, my family and my parents came here to Mallory Park at a club race meeting, and we enjoyed it, and we've just got more and more involved. We started off spectating, became marshals, officials. My parents eventually became secretary of the local car racing organising club, and then eventually they actually worked here. And when the circuit was sold, we started a company, and we actually now run it. And I've been here for 6-7 years now, and really in charge of the day-to-day operation and running of the circuit.
So as a director, I mean, obviously you're a busy job. Does that mean are you first there in the morning? Do you have to open the gates?
I don't open the gates, no, but I'm often the last one to leave.
I bet you are, yeah.
And ultimately the responsibility comes down to the directors. I mean, the way the circuit runs is quite different. I mean, many people will have come to Mallory Park on a race meeting, and really on the race meeting they'll see lots of marshals running around, lots of competitors. Those sort of events are run really organised by a club, a band of enthusiasts, really. Yeah. The activities we get involved with midweek are quite different to that. We have car schools, motorcycle race schools here, all sorts of activities going on during the week. We have general testing, filming, car clubs on the circuit, motorcycle clubs on the circuit for the thrashing round. And then we have strange things like a couple of days a week we have cycle racing around the circuit. We've had filming, we've had adverts made here, all sorts of things.
You've got an off-road bit as well, haven't you? You have some different kind of activities on.
That's indeed we do. It's some really different activities. I mean, not only do we have Land Rovers and stalwarts, we have military tanks, which is quite a unique feature of a circuit, and very popular. Actually quite easy to drive, and unfortunately the guns don't work.
Yeah, just as well, really. Yeah, you wouldn't really be here today unless you were involved in racing of some description. So what's this that's going on today?
Well, this is a general practice day today, so anybody who holds a competition licence can come along to Mallory Park and try their racing car or racing motorbike. And we're the only circuit that actually runs regular testing. We do it every week, every Wednesday. And it's very popular. Yeah. It's not only an income-producing event for the circuit, it's a service to the sport, because people do need to go somewhere to practice, especially early on in the season when they've got new cars, new drivers, new parts to try out, whatever.
Right. So what's your day like today then? If this was a typical work day for you?
Well, the first thing is, I mean, I'll go down and see our guys are actually running the event to make sure they're okay, and we're very lucky here. We've got a really good crew of guys and ladies who virtually run the place for us, and they're very dedicated and have a love of motorsport and a love of Mallory Park, which is a real help. Yeah. We've got some good people here, and today we have marshals in, ambulance people in, and the day kicks off at 9 o'clock, and because we've been doing it so long it runs pretty much like clockwork. Obviously things happen, somebody will fall off, somebody will crash, engine blow up, and we will deal with that. We'll send out the wrecker, ambulance, whatever it needs to deal with.
Now, one thing you must have if you come on a track day or you're practicing, you must have good medical support, and you couldn't get better here than Pete Winsome of Ambulink. The last time I saw you, Pete, I was flat on my back, I seem to remember.
Yeah, that was at Donington Park.
Yeah.
I think you missed McLean's, but I hope you're better now.
Yes, I am, fully recovered. There we are. On a day like today, I mean, I suppose it's a good day if you don't have any business, isn't it?
That's right, we want to be like the vultures in Jungle Book, just sit there saying what you're going to do. But when something happens, we do go. We do go big time.
How's today gone so far?
Not too bad with the numbers out on circuit because it's beginning of the season, it's good weather. Mallory's a good circuit, we've got a lot of bikes out, but we've only had one off. My other ambulance has actually taken them into Leicestershire this time.
Right, but he's not too badly hurt?
Possibly a couple of broken bones, but we've got to have a high suspicion of a C-spine injury, so they've actually made him a spinal case.
Now, the position of yourselves, I mean, anyone watching this will have seen paramedics around different circuits. Where does your training come from? How specialised is it?
Right, because we do a lot of motorsport, myself and my crews do what's called the pre-hospital trauma life support, and it was originated in America, and we go back to America to do all the training at the trauma centres. In fact, I'm back in America again to do the instructor's course.
Right. So how far, where do you have to stop on the, if you come across someone badly injured, I mean, how far can you go before they have to go off to hospital?
Right, well, for PHTLS, we say that we've got to be there and loaded within 10 minutes in life-threatening injuries to give the doctors a chance at the hospital for survivability. So we have to be very quick in what's called a primary survey, making sure airway, C-spine, breathing, circulation. Any problems, we load and we go.
Right, okay, and hopefully, as you say, we won't get any more tumbles today anyway.
As long as you keep off of a bike, Jeff, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Probably your biggest bike event would be British Superbikes.
Yes, MTN British Superbikes,
Yeah.
in which we ran in August. That'll attract 20,000 spectators, and by far and away is probably is certainly the biggest meeting we get.
Right.
We get 3 times as many spectators there
Yeah.
as we do at any other meeting.
Yeah.
So we really have to gear up for that with a lot of extra staff and hiring extra fields for car parking.
So
it's a challenge, but we enjoy it.
I bet it's a challenge, yeah. But you must say you've got the best view of the lot here, haven't you?
It's not
you've
bad,
got,
is
you've
it?
got
Not
cracking.
bad.
It's like your own private box on the
That's
hairpin,
right,
isn't
it
it?
is.
Perfect, yeah. But over the years, you must have seen some fantastic races here and some famous people. Some big names.
I've been lucky enough to see people like Mike Howard, Barry Sheen, Phil Reed, Cole Fogarty, all racing here, and they've been terrific.
Is there one particular race that stands out for you? One particular meeting that you've seen so much here?
Yeah. Well, in fact, the first motorcycle meeting I came to here was in 1978 when Mike Howard made his comeback, and he came here after winning on the Isle of Man to the post-TT meeting, and on a Ducati, and certainly remember that very, very well because I'd seen Mike race in cars, I'd never seen him on a motorbike, and his style was good, very quick, very smooth, and obviously the great name.
Now, while Paul's loading it with management, as it were, we're down at the sharp end here. I'm with Wayne Pearson. He's the sort of clerk of the course, and well, you're everything man, aren't you? When we've got a race on?
Well, not exactly racing today, but we've got. You've caught us on a bad day. We've got nearly 130, nearly 140 bikes here. We're trying to keep everybody happy. We've had like 5 red flags, people jumping off everywhere. Really, it's getting a bit busy out there, but while we've got the sidecars on at the moment, it's time to relax a minute, really.
Well, do the sidecars behave then?
The sidecars behave, but there's not as many of them. There's only about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say the solo's causing more problems. Everybody has, an off day, but we're really busy today. So.
Interestingly, when you said it's a bad day, is that just because of the volume of people, is it?
Well, the sun's out for a start. I mean, I think most of the people here check the weather forecast the night before, and if it's sunny, we'll head for Mallory. It's cheap. We can go around till we're dizzy and come and race on a Sunday and have a good day out, really.
Right. So you'd rather it was rainy, would you? Is your job easier if it's raining?
From a totally selfish point of view, snow, frost and rain on the Wednesday's fine by me. But it's not very good for the coffers.
So you miserable devil. So what's actually your job here? You've got a grandstand view of everything going on, but I mean, how does it all work?
Really, all the bikes come down. We then have a tally up of how many bikes we've got, whether to split them into sessions, let them all go out on their own, or, sidecars are separate anyway, they look after themselves. But like say, we've got over 100 here today, so I've had to split them into 2 sessions. There's fast and slow, but that's really inverted commas.
Aren't they all racing together today?
Well,
that's what it looks like.
There should be 3 sessions really, fast, slow and liars, because you get you get some people who are in the slow one, but they shouldn't really be in it. But like today, yeah, we have had to split them up. If anyone does fall off around the circuit or gets into problems, the marshals shout me recommending a red flag or a yellow flag or whatever flags we use on the circuit.
Is it normal on a day like today to have not only mixed ability, but the bikes are totally mixed? I've seen 125s and old
everything.
classics.
I mean, we've got everything bar scooters here today. That's the trouble. It says general practice on the advert, and it is general.
Yeah. So does that cause you a problem, the mixed ability and the mixed speeds?
I mean, you can get British Superbike riders here, and you can get guys who've never been on the track before, and that's how you've got to split them up. You can't let them go out together. It's too dangerous. I mean, it does look like everyone's out together, but they're not really. It looks really busy, but really we've got them to split up into their ability classes more than anything by the licence. When they sign on, we ask them what licence have you got, and they'll tell us novice or national or whatever, and we'll split them, as per their licence.
In that way. Now, you're the guys who say you've had to stop things a couple of times today. How does that work? You get feedback? You've got a radio that you're fondling there.
Yes.
Just because your marshals are in touch with
I
you?
put this under my pillow at night when I go to sleep, blasted thing. If somebody falls off in a section, the marshal will radio me, say we've got a rider down or a car spun off like we had this morning, request a red flag, ambulance or rescue unit required, and we take it from there then.
Yeah. So is it the marshal who's giving you your advice? He's saying, I reckon you ought to stop it, Wayne.
Unless I can see it. I mean, if it's at the hairpin, that's totally blind from our view in the control room. So the hairpin marshal's got to recommend what he wants straight away, and we do it that way.
And how do you find the riders? Do riders respect yourself and the marshals? I mean, do they play the game?
Well, they do, yeah. I mean, sometimes you get the odd wheelie and the odd bit of stunt riding, but they're only mucking about. They don't mean any harm by it, but it does wind you up sometimes when you've got an ambulance going by and the guy passing him on the back wheel, But it doesn't happen very often. No, they're normally generally pretty good.
And tell me, what's your sort of working pattern like, if you don't mind me asking? Are you here every weekend?
We're here every day. Yeah. There's 4 of us work here full time down on the circuit, plus the office staff and the management, so they keep us busy.
Yeah, you'll like this. A stand stick. It's not for hitting people with, it's actually quite an innovative idea, albeit very, very simple. And the idea is you stick that underneath your swinging arm if you've only got a side stand, and then it raises that back end of the bike up very, very slightly. It leaves your hands free to spin the back wheel to squirt your chain lube over your chain. Clever, eh? And I believe it even goes under the front forks as well and raises the front wheel up as well. I mean, they've got thought of everything, these whoever made this, but it's a good idea, simple, and apparently it costs you about 15 quid. But this is something I like for moped users and for people with 2 strokes. Would you believe this company have now introduced a strawberry scented scooter 2-stroke oil? Just the business. You don't even get, for mothers who are displeased about dirty, horrible smelling motorbikes, strawberry scented. What next, eh? I like this. I mean, I'm surrounded by lock and chains, and there's some big stuff, but do they come as big as that? Anyone complain about their lock not being secure? Well, this is the thing, because this, on removal of all this lot here, of which I can't do, but if you could do it, I can't do it. It's that big and beefy. There we go. Get rid of them, throw them on the floor, remove the padlock out of it, and now we've got a shrouded, soled secure sleeve to put your padlock in. Unbelievable, isn't it? What will they think of next? Well, I know what they've thought of. Lots of products to clean, lubricate, well, whatever, polish your bike. Just look at this, a company with a sense of humour, because this is a brand called Yoshimoto, and they have thought of everything. Everything that they produce in the way of cleaners and lubricants has got a smart, funny statement, and all the instructions are done with a sense of humour. I mean, I like these, This is the world famous purple helmet cleaner. This is Anchor de Manca. I mean, I don't know where they get off. What have we got here? This is it. Zappo, a contact cleaner. It's all good stuff, and it's actually endorsed by the world famous BMF as well. So we've got good stuff, well priced. It's on the shops at the moment. It's on the shelves, I should say.
It's difficult these days to think of a manufacturer that doesn't have a big single-cylinder trail bike in its current catalogue. And if you're looking in the 600cc and above class, then you're going to have to pay anything from £5,500 to as much as £7,000. Well, Honda's representative in this class since 1988, would you believe, has been the NX650, the Dominator. And a new Dominator will now cost you around £5,500, much more than many people are prepared to pay. So in 1997, Honda introduced a cheaper version of its Dominator and called it the SLR 650. First impressions are it looks a bit dated. A 1980s throwback, perhaps. Some not very expensive looking plastic parts and a very unsophisticated chassis and suspension. It's got a colour scheme that you'd find difficult to match to any set of leathers, and it's hard to think of a bike with a more basic looking dashboard layout. This all doesn't sound very, very enticing, does it? You don't want to know any more about this, except that it's nowhere near the price of all its competitors. This Spanish-built Honda can be yours for just around £4,000. The power plant on the SLR is a single-cylinder 644cc air-cooled 4-stroke that kicks out around 39 brake horsepower and drives a 5-speed gearbox. Suspension is very, very basic. 41mm telescopic forks up front, and there's a ProLink monoshock doing all the work at the back. It's a fairly, well, reasonably capable machine for the rider who likes the look of the traily bike, doesn't want to spend a fortune, but still wants a bike that'll do most things just about well enough. It'll take you to work and back Monday to Friday, through towns, no problem at all. And maybe if you like a bit of green laning or something like that at the weekends, it'll do that as well. If you want comparisons, you'd have to say it's not as powerful as Aprilia's Pegaso 650. It doesn't look anywhere near as classy as BMW's F650. It can't handle like a KTM Duke, and it certainly hasn't got the pedigree of Honda's Dominator. All sounds very depressing, doesn't it? Well, it shouldn't. The old saying, you get what you pay for, springs to mind. Fair enough, you'll pay a bit less, in fact quite a bit less, for an SLR 650, and you get a bit less, but not enough to stop it being a reasonably good, cheaper alternative to the rest of the pack. And most importantly, it's great fun.
Oh, yes, indeed. Hey, that's good. Yeah, I always wondered how you did that and how you got... Oops. Caught on camera. Oh, with camera, really. I'll just put this down here where it should be. I shouldn't really be playing with that. Got the script here for Two Wheels Better. That's what I think of that then. So, Wayne's Agony Corner again. Most of the correspondence just of recent has been related to clunky chains, clunky gearboxes and things. And I think the chain is probably the problem. Although, let's be fair, depending on how old the bike is or what problems the bike might have, there are many, many reasons for having a clunky gear change. Usually, when you first put it into gear, into first gear, that problem is very simple. It might well be that the chain wants adjusting, and a loose, slack chain definitely causes a problem with engaging first gear and very often going up and down the box. In addition to that, there could be the fact that the clutch wants adjustment or the clutch cable wants adjustment. And let alone one real simple thing that I've noticed when people pull away from a junction or whatever, too much revs when clunking it into gear. You've got to let the engine die down to its tick over speed. And in particular, when of course the bike is cold, you would leave the choke on. It might be running at a couple of thousand revs. It doesn't want to go in gear at a couple of thousand revs. You've got to let the revs die down, then put it into gear, and that may just cause it to go into gear that little bit sweeter, and of course less wear and tear on your gearbox, your sprockets and your chain. Now, I did say adjusting your chain, and a lot of people would do that, would actually have a go, because it's not a particularly difficult procedure. But of course then we have more correspondence, this time about crosshead screws and things. Now, it's quite probable when you're adjusting your chain you don't need to go and do a crosshead screw, but should you be working on your bike and you've got this problem with crosshead screws, it really is very simple. It's using the correct equipment, and the best piece of equipment you could possibly have in your toolbox is a hammer. Beat the bike to death if the screws won't come undone. Or alternatively, use the hammer on an impact driver. Impact drivers you'll be able to buy for maybe a tenner, and a posh one maybe 25 quid. And they're worth investing in, because if you try and undo a screw with the wrong size screw head on your screwdriver and chew it up, you've got a problem. You may even have to go as far as drilling it out. But if you use the right size screw head and use an impact driver to just ease it off first, and then use a normal screwdriver, your problems are resolved. As long as you don't use the impact driver to put it up and tighten it up again later on. Give it a wallop with an impact driver, it'll scare the living daylights out of it, and it should come undone very, very easy. Okay? And don't forget to correspond to me about your problems, that is preferably simple ones to resolve, because I am only simple. And you've got to write to Two Wheels Better at Granada Satellite, Key Street, Manchester, M60 9EA. Hey, thank you.
Do you fancy a night at Stringfellows in London? Well, Fireblade rider Gary Byrne is launching his 98 campaign there on the 20th of March. And we've got 2 VIP tickets to give away. You'll be met with a champagne reception and meet stars from the world of showbiz and biking. If you can tell us how many rounds are in this year's National Superbike Magazine production series. Is it 8, 10 or 12? Answers to this address. And in next week's Two Wheels Better, with 600cc sports bikes becoming increasingly popular, we look at Suzuki's latest offering, the GSXR.